working really hard on making Brainingcamp a better tool for everybody. So we've actually just released a new update, and you guys will be the first people to see it. So hopefully it's going to go well. But all right, so let's kind of get into what Brainingcamp is and how you can use it in your classroom. So our agenda today is basically that. What is Brainingcamp? Give you a quick background of what it is, get you started with the basics, maybe show you how to share a page. I don't know if we're going to have time to go live, but maybe we'll hit on it. And then definitely I want to show you guys math tasks. If at any time you guys want to interrupt me, feel free to, I just muted everybody, but feel free to unmute yourself. Just hit the space bar and you'll unmute yourself. You can talk or throw something up in the chat. I'll try to keep my eyes on that. If I'm going too fast, too slow, just let me know. All right. So at Brainingcamp, our job or our goal is to bring math to life, right? We want kids being able to see the math that they're doing and see how it actually relates to each other. So we've been working on or developing virtual manipulatives. The company's been doing it for about 14 years now, trying to make the best virtual manipulative site that's available. This is all we do. There are companies out there that have manipulatives, online manipulatives out there, but it's kind of like a side project for some people. This is the only job that we work on, and we try to make the absolute best one available to you. So we kind of look at it from a teacher's eyes and student's eyes as well. Some benefits for teaching with manipulatives: they're engaging. We have the 16 most popular manipulatives in the classroom. We have more coming. They're collaborative. We allow you to work with teachers and students. I'm in the Carolinas, and you'll see how we can work in the Carolinas and in Georgia at the same time and be collaborative. And the other thing is we've tried to make them super intuitive and easy to use. All right, so here are your 16 manipulatives that you have. And when you sign in, you should be able to see all 16 of these. They're each individual apps. So really you can just click on one, open it up, use that app, close it down, go to another one. Like I said, we try to have the 16 most popular ones there. So why should you be teaching with manipulatives in general, right? Because we don't think physical manipulatives are any better than ours. We don't think we're better than them. There's a time and place to use physical ones, and there's a time and place that virtual might be a little bit better. But NCTM talks about using manipulatives as a way to visualize math and to show multiple representations. And that is another feature in Brainingcamp that allows you to do that, because in the classroom, if you needed to get out fraction tiles and then fraction circles and then color tiles, that's a lot of prep and a lot of things that you need to do. In Brainingcamp, it's just a click of a button and you can switch between apps very quickly. But it allows you to have those multiple representations that kids need to be showing you. All right, so some of the basics of Brainingcamp. Anybody want to put in the chat which grade level they'd like to see? First one to get in there, we'll use it. All right, second grade. So saying a number of second, fifth, we'll get to fifth. We only have these choices right now: kindergarten, first, and second. All right. I said the first one, but we got a bunch of people. All right, let's look at, we'll get color tiles first, and then we'll kind of maybe go up to the second grade one. When you, so here's two things. When you go to Brainingcamp, this is what you should see, right? You should see your manipulatives, all your resources across the top. But we just released on Friday this new version. And partly the reason we released it on Friday was because I was doing this training with you guys today. And I told them, I said, I cannot train this group of teachers on a version that's going to go away. So you should be able to, at the top of your page, click on New Brainingcamp is almost here. I'm going to show you the new version, because by the time school gets back in session, this is the version we're going to be using, right? So if you just clicked on it, you will see we're in a beta version. So this is still some kinks that need to get worked out. You're going to see some of the things are missing, like all our tools at the top are missing, but they will be there in the next 2 weeks. I believe and August 8th is about the day that we plan on having this rolled out 100%. So But like I said, you just click on the tools and it opens up and you have your workspace here. We try to give the kids as much workspace as possible. That's this entire white area is their workspace. Down the left-hand side, we have our manipulative tray. It's really simple. They just click and drag them out and they can move them out on the screen. You have an unlimited supply of these. So if you needed 100 red tiles, you could pull out 100 red tiles very easily. Once they're on the screen, we consider them objects. And each of these objects has its own set of tools. So I can change the color. I can change the fill. If I wanted it blank, I can copy it. I can lock it in place and then I can delete it if I wanted to do that as well. You see also that when they move around, they will snap in place. So now I can take this whole group, I get those tools for it. I can move it wherever I need it to go. You know, pretty nice and easy that you can just click and add. Oh, I didn't show you that part. I can add one out here. And then if I click, it will add one as well. So if we needed to add a bunch, I can just click and add pieces. Also in this manipulative tray, we have some text features that I could just drag this out. Now, if I wanted to type in directions or a problem type or whatever I want to do, I can click on that. I can add any text I want. That becomes adjustable. I have my tools over here. I can change the font size, the style, the colors. I can do all that stuff there. And then once that's added, I can move that wherever I want it to be as well. I have shapes, same thing. I pull shape out. It's now an object. I can change the color. I can change the fill, the thickness. We have one here, there's layering. I could pull it to the top. So if I wanted to use it to hide an answer, I could do that, or I could push it to the back so it makes kind of like a nice background for my text. I have arrows to point to things. And then the last thing I have here is this. It's supposed to be like a workman's square. So it's your tools, right? So I have a 5s frame that I can bring out. I have a 10s frame and I have an array that I can change to any size. And I even have a number line that comes out. And this number line, when it comes out, same thing, it's now an object. I have tools that I can use. I can rotate it so it's vertical. I can change the start value to whatever number I want it to be. I can have the labels on or off and kind of use the tools however I want. Go back to my manipulatives here. They should be able to just go right, you know, they can fill this 5 frame if I wanted them to. That's not working. It's supposed to auto fill that as well. But yeah, I can put them together, pull them apart. And then let's see, I'm going to clear this whole screen and kind of start over here. So in the PowerPoint, represent and describe numbers 2 to 10 concretely and pictorially. So if I told the kids, show me 6, right? The kids could take out 6 pieces, put them wherever they wanted to. 3, 4, 5, 6. They could then rearrange them where they wanted, or like I said, they could pull out a 10s frame. And what should happen here is when they grab these 6, when they hover it over here, it should auto fill that, and it will by the time it goes live officially. But you'd be able to put all 6 of these in here, and you could see, you could have the kids show you that it's representing 6. Down across the bottom, we have some tools here that can let you go step back 1 step. This is kind of an undo and a redo button. So if you wanted to show kids what they were doing, they could do that. You could hit clear all. One of the new features is that this allows you to zoom in and zoom out. So if you needed a little more space, you could zoom out. You could even hit control and use your scroll bar on your mouse to do that. And now you have a lot of space that you can work, and this will recenter it for you, then bring it right back to the middle of the page. You see we have pens and highlighters, and when you click on them, again, you can change the color and the thickness. You can clear all your annotations if you wanted to do that. If I wanted to highlight, you know, how many are empty, they could do that real fast. But yeah, so you have tools just like a smart board for you to use there. Continuing across the bottom, I have settings. And when I click on my settings, they used to be all over the place. Now they're all in the same spot. I could turn on a background grid if I wanted. I could label my workspace and it's going to tell me how many pieces I have. And it even has what we call a cluster one, where it's going to label each of the pieces one at a time. But then when they come together and they touch, you see that it changes. And now it's going to group that cluster of them, and it's going to say how many are in that cluster, which is great for same thing that we were just talking about. You know, how many do I have? It says, 7. And you can see that once you put them all together, you get 7. Or if you're doing addition and we said 3 plus 4 is 7, right? I can take these 3 and show them that when I touch that together, it's going to equal 7 and give them a visual representation of what's happening. Shut my settings off. The other thing that I can do is change my workspace. So it automatically defaults to the basic, but if I wanted to do a number line, I can switch to a number line, and I have like a background of a number line there. I could do a graph, and this graph I can, build. When I click now, it's going to build vertically instead of horizontally. I can click on the graph, and I have tools because it's an object. I can rotate it. So if I wanted to have more of a horizontal graph, I could do that. I could turn the labels off or on. I could even copy this and then rotate it. And now if I wanted to have kind of a axis, a vertical axis, I can do that as well, or vertical and horizontal axis, I can do that. And then the one I think is going to be great for primary grades is the part whole mat. I can take this part plus this part, and I can show them that I can copy that, bring it here, copy that, and bring it here and show that 2 plus 3 equals 5, and I have that part whole. Every single manipulative has sub works mats. We have 16 manipulatives and I think 57 workspaces. So you should be able to do a wide variety of math concepts. All right, any questions so far? The best thing you can do to learn Brainingcamp is to just play around with it. Click on things. If they get tools on them, you should be able to do something. You should be able to copy them. This is kind of one of the new features here, allowing us to copy this. So if I wanted to have this part whole problem here, actually, let me clear that. If I wanted to have one here, I can copy it, have a second one here. I could zoom out, or I can make this smaller, and I could have 3 or 4, and I could have multiple mats on the same page. All right. We're going to go back to the presentation. We're going to go over to the next one. So once you kind of start building your pages, one of the things that we thought you should be able to do is save a page, right? If you've spent the time making it, why not save it and be able to come back to it whenever you want? And you should be able to share it with your students as well. So again, let's do a quick little vote. Would you like to see the 3rd grade example of demonstrating fractions, 4th grade comparing fractions, or 5th grade comparing fractions with unlike denominators? Hopefully some of you are that grade level teacher and see a concept that you would like. Let's see if anyone puts it in the chat real fast. All right, so I got a 3rd grade and a comparing fractions. Anyone can split the difference. All right, 3rd grade. So demonstrating an understanding of fractions. And if we get a chance, we can go back and show you some of these other ones. But all right, so I'm going to copy this right now. You don't need to worry about this code yet. But when you go to Brainingcamp, or when you go to any manipulative, you can work on setting up the problem however you like, right? So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my workspace. No, I'm going to leave it as basic. I'm going to change my settings that I don't want it to be fractions, percents, or I want them all blank, right? Because I want the kids to understand what a fraction is. And maybe I want to take out this piece right here, and I'm going to put in some text that says, I can't remember exactly what I have, but break this piece into 4 equal, right? 4 equal pieces. I'm not gonna do it. I can set the page up however I like. I'm going to show you how the one that I did. When I get finished and when I have the page ready, I come up here to where it says share code. And when I click on share code, it gives me the options to create a share code, go live, copy the image, or download the image. If you create a share code, what you are doing is saving a copy forever of that page. And whenever you type that code in, it will bring you right back to that same page, right? It'll give you a link and it'll give you an 8-letter number code. Live will do if we have a chance. Copy image just copies it and puts it onto your desktop or under your, like if you copied text, right? And you can go paste it into a Google Doc. And then the last one would be downloading the image, would download an image of your screen to your desktop. And then you can then use that image for assessments. You can use it to send home, whatever you want to do. But I'm just going to hit share code. And what it does is it creates this unique share code right here that I can share with my students. Maybe I want to write that up on the board, or maybe it's a homework assignment. And that's what they write down in their homework book. Then when they get to home, they type in Brainingcamp, they type that letter in, those letters and numbers in, and they're brought to the homework assignment. So I'm going to put in the chat the code that I had from that presentation. No, I'm not going to because I didn't copy it, right? I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste this. So this MGVQ9VRS code, right? When you are on the main page, in the upper corner where it says share code, if you were to enter that 8 letters and numbers and hit go, it is going to take you to that page that I made. Now I made this page, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 months ago. And I use this one quite a bit. So this is, I had it set up the way I wanted. I can use other tiles to cover this red tile. What color tile would I use to break it into 4 equal pieces? This is a weird setting thing that it should have come up blank, but it's not doing it. So you should, anybody who's used that code now has this copy of the page. But if you notice when I work on mine and I put my pieces out here, it doesn't change it on yours. It is not a community page like a Google Doc. It is your own copy of that page. Students would be allowed to go to this page, work on it independently. They have a share code button up here that they can then make a share code, copy the image, send it back to you, send you the code back to you. However they want to communicate the work that they did, they can send it back. If they wanted to, if they're at home and they want to save it on their computers, they download the image. The next day they come in and show you what they did. So you know the one that I did here. So this was the comparing fractions one that I thought I saw somebody say. I'm going to copy that. So when you enter the share code, it will take you to that page. So this one here says, which one is larger? Comparing fractions. I have 2 grids, or I have 2 circles out here. You notice that they're in 8ths, and the first problem says it's 3/5 and 4/5, right? Oh, I should have shared this with you. If you want to see this activity, that's the fraction one. All right, the GNBUBCCT is the page that I'm on right now. So like I said, I set this up, I put the text in where I wanted it. I put these all in here. These are all individual text boxes that I made. I added 2 circles to it. I intentionally left them in 8ths because when you click on them, you can then adjust them to whatever size you want them to be. So this one here, I wanted to be 5ths. This one here, I want to be 5ths. And then the kids can bring in 3/5 or 4/5. This one I'll do 3, 1, 2, 3. This one I'll do 4. I got to rotate it to the right spot. And the kids can then take a picture of this or share this back with you and say, hey, here's my 3/5 and 4/5. 4/5 is larger. They can hit clear. Oh, Oh, I didn't want to do that. They can clear these. I don't know why I was wanting to do that. There you go. They can move on to the next problem, 1/2 and 1/3. Again, they just change it to 1/2. Put the piece in. This would be thirds or 2/3, I guess. You can rotate it right into the spot. So it's 1. And then they can click to get the other one, and they can compare those and say, show you which one is larger. But the nice thing is, like I said, all they have to do is hit share, and they're given a chance to create a code that they can give you, copy the image that they can then put it wherever they want, or if they need to just download it, they can do that as well. Any questions there? I know I'm moving pretty quickly. I have another presentation at 11. I'm trying to make sure we get through that or get to that as well and let you guys get to your sessions. All right, so it does look like we may have time to go live. So I'm going to refresh this page. All right, and we're gonna, okay. I need to go back to Brainingcamp, the original version, right? Because this part hasn't been, because we haven't, I'm not going to worry about that. Because we haven't put this into the new version yet, I don't want to spend time with you. I don't want to show you this and not have it work correctly. But basically what's going to happen, if I were to go live, what it would do, it does work. All right. What it does, it gives me this code here. This is more exciting than I thought. I'm going to put this in the chat. I'm going to put live next to it. If you will, on your screen, go back to the main hub page, and where it says enter code, if you will put this code into that button, hit go, what it's going to do is it's going to connect your computer with my computer. And I should be able to see your screens in real time. Wait to see if anyone gets to do that. But what you would do is, instead of sharing the code that I made for the page, you're going to create this live code, and it's only live for that time that the teacher chooses it to be live. Only teachers have the ability to go live too. So kids can't be doing this with their friends in class or anything like that. It's only when teachers want to do it. But basically what's going to happen is the kids type in that code, it brings them to that same page, and you can see, like here, somebody has joined right now, and I can see their screen, right? They come in as person 01 in the order that they came in. If they want, they can change. Let me actually try it here. I'll go back as a student. Paste this in. So this will be my student 1. As I come in, right, I can change this to RD, so I can distinguish that as me, because like I said, it comes in as 01, 02, 03. And I have the same screen that the teacher has. Now, I can see person 1 has already moved it. I see I need to fix that, right? So I'm going to lock the activity, and everybody's screen locks. Now they can't work on it right now. What I'm going to do is fix my page, and then I'm going to push this to everybody. So I'm just going to select all, and when I hit push, you're going to see their screens update, but not correctly. So we got to fix this circle thing, right? When I come back, you see my screen's locked. As the teacher, I need to unlock it. All right, so whoever person 1 that is doing it, if you wouldn't mind moving the circles for me, so it does look like this, and then adding a few pieces, and I will go back here and do the same thing. I'll move this piece and add a couple pieces here. I'm just going to add some that, even though they're incorrect, that's fine. I want them to be that way, right? Then when I come back, I can see my screen. I can see that student screen on the teacher view. And I can see my other student here too, right? So if I'm doing small group work, I can be working with one group, keeping an eye on another group. If I'm doing a whole class activity, I will see all 20 something of my kids at the same time. We've done this in webinars and we've had hundreds of people on here at the same time. You can see all their screens. I can use this to scroll left and right and scroll through my class. I can even hit this up button and I will see everybody's screen there. If I need to make it larger, I can make it larger as well. And so I can see it a little bit better. But all right, I'm going to go back, put this down, and I'm going to look at what this student is doing right here. And instead of saying, hey, come up to the front of the classroom to show me what you've been doing, and they have to, like we did when we were kids, write up, go up and write on the board. I'm going to take theirs and I'm going to load it. And it's going to overwrite my screen. It says you are now viewing 0-1 screen, and I can see what they're doing. And now I can have them talk and I can have them tell me what they're doing to solve their problem. I could hit close and it goes back to mine. I could load up the next person's screen, and it's overwriting it right now. We're gonna get that fixed. It's going to take the actual screen and look just like it, right? I can send messages. I can put a little thumbs up. I can put a little heart. And when I hit a heart, I got to jump real fast. I'm gonna go send a heart message. And then I'm gonna jump back to the students, and then it shows up on their screen. Heart, I like what I'm seeing, right? So I can send messages to everybody. I can send a message to the whole class. Stop what you're doing, right? And I can send that to everybody, and then it shows up on their screen. All right, Dan, I'm not sure why it's showing that it was invalid. It's obviously, like I said, we're still in beta with this. It needs this. In our current version, this works well. But I'm not sure if they have all the things fixed right now. All right, so the last thing I'm going to show you is if I wanted to change this screen, right? Maybe I wanted to change the text on here and put a new problem in, right? I'm going to say maybe change this to 1/2 or 5/8. Right? And maybe I change the whole screen up for people. I can then push this and I can select who I want to push it to, right? This student has gotten everything right and I need to move on, but this student hasn't. So I could hit just push here and I'm going to push that screen and their screen will change, but the other person's hasn't. So I can differentiate in this live session as well. If at any time I want to take a picture of what my kids are doing, I can hit PDF export and it'll take a picture of everybody's screen. And then I have that available to go back and look at whenever I want. It'll have the kid's name or their initials. It'll have the number they put in, whatever they have there, and it'll have all the image of the screen that they did. All right, give us a chance to get Brainingcamp Live up and working in this new format. And by the time school starts, it will work because, like I said, it works very well in the original Brainingcamp version. It's just a matter of, like I said, this came in on Friday is when we put this version out. And then our tech team needs just to tighten everything up a little bit and make sure it all works. So I'm going to exit the live session because there's only a couple more minutes left. And I do want to show you some other things that are really important. So I'm going to go back to the original version, right? So this is the one when you click on Google, or when you click on Google, you click on Clever, and it opens up in the Newton School System's Clever account. This is the page you should see. I'm not going to the beta right now because it's not there, and I don't need to worry about it. But once we did the codes and once we did live, we started thinking like, hey, this opens up a lot for us because now we can start making lessons and we can start making tasks and we can provide pre-made activities to our teachers. So that's exactly what we did. And when you are on Brainingcamp, across the top, you're going to see these tabs. And the one I want you to click on is resources. And when you go to resources, you have 3 choices: tasks, ideas, and tutorials. For now, don't worry about the ideas and tutorials. They're old versions of Brainingcamp. We're going to be updating them But basically they're just, just kind of give you some ideas that you can do and tutorials on how each manipulative works. But if you click on tasks, you have 280, a little more than 280 pre-built math tasks that you can use. You can use our filter here to select a grade level. Maybe I want to do, I was a 3-5 teacher, so I'm just going to do that. We've been working a little bit. I can search by domain, or I can search by a word, right? So I'm going to say fractions, right? And it's going to filter that out. Now, you do see here that it has, these are the Common Core standards, but it is just so we have something on there. I know it doesn't match the Georgia standards, but once you get inside of it, there's no standards at all. But you can see the name of the activity, a picture of what the activity looks like, and a brief description of what you're going to do. So I'm going to go to long and short. Students use fraction tiles to compare two fractions that have the same denominator. When I click on it, I get a PDF that I can print, that I can save. It has all my teacher tools and teacher notes that I need, has my objective, the math practices, the manipulatives you can use. You're going to use this one, but then here's other ones that you can use. It tells you a brief description of it, gives you a picture of what it looks like, how to launch the activity, how to teach the task on the second page, the solution, if there is a set solution, we try to give you that as well. And then we also try to put in a tip. If you see this, try this. And these are things that we've seen kids have trouble with either mathematically or in Brainingcamp. But if we try to give you a tool there, and then we try to give you math talks, questions that you can ask your kids that are open-ended, that are going to get the discussion of what was happening during that activity. So you have that rich conversation in the classroom. The last thing it has is an extension right here. And if you wanted to change it and extend it for a couple different kids, you can. But the most important part, and I skipped right over it because I kind of wanted to save that for the end, but we've created the page and we have this share code. So when you copy the share code and then in Brainingcamp, enter that share code, you have that pre-made activity and it's ready to go. You can then go live. You can assign this as a homework assignment, right? And the kids should be able to, just like before, they have, this is the old version of it, but they can still hit share. They can see, copy the image, download the image. They have all the tools that they want. What I love about this is I have this activity right here for comparing fractions, right? I have this pre-made activity that I can open up and work on right away. But this is, you can edit this, right? You can change this around to, maybe I want to change these numbers or change the names. And if I change the names and the numbers, I can then hit share, create a new share code. If I write that share code down on this page, now I have multiple share codes that do a similar activity, right? I can take this, print it up, put it in my teacher note or my teacher book where this fits the activity that I'm doing. And then next year when I come back around, I have the code, I have the activity, and I have multiple ones that I can do to kind of differentiate it a little bit. So, all right, so back to this. I kind of showed you live. There are the tasks. Go back to the task one more time. Tasks, like I said, we have 280 of them. Some of them are some of the people who develop them are really creative. You see, like the kindergarten group, they're really good at this guy used all the tools, all those shape tools to create this train. Really creative, some of the work that these writers did. But we have stuff for kindergarten through 8th grade. If you have a crosswalk document to show you, well, this is what it says in Common Core, this is what it says in Georgia, you can use this to kind of to guide you there. But all right, so That's tasks. On to the next one. Time for question and answer. So you don't have to use this prompt, but I like this, but what I really want to know is, but were there any questions that you guys had? Was there anything that I went over too fast or something that you saw that you wanted me to look at? We have about 5 minutes before we can wrap it up. You can unmute yourself if you want. You can put it in the chat if you want. If I gloss over a manipulative that you wanted to see, all right, keep an eye on it. I don't see anybody adding anything. I don't hear anyone asking a question. So, all right, we do have 3 other sessions today. We have a K1, a 2-3, and a 4-5, where I'm going to go a little more specifically into activities that are geared towards those grade levels. I'm going to show you probably a little more in depth how to do some of these activities and how to build things. But if you wanted to join us for that, great. I believe it's going to be recorded. You can always come back and watch it later. But if there are no, I can use it in high school. Yeah, you can use it in high school. All right, hold on a second. How can we get total? You should have the total version because it is the school district has purchased it. I can't remember exactly who has it, but yes, the district has it for their schools. It is on Clever. Those schools who are supposed that they purchased it for, they activated it on Clever. Under tasks, what are they for again? All right, so tasks, these are just pre-made activities that we've created that you can use in the classroom if you like, as supplemental pieces. They're not full-on lessons. It is not a full curriculum. It is more just like a supplemental piece. And then Claudette says, can I use it in high school? I believe you can. If you look at some of the manipulatives, we have algebra tiles, we have an XY coordinate pegboard. Most of the stuff that you're going to do in high school is, as far as when you're graphing, if everything's linear, you're going to be fine. But once you start getting into curved lines and things like that on a chart, you know, we just don't have the technology for that. There are better programs out there that do that. But the reason we don't is the physical manipulative that we're emulating. They'd use rubber bands and straight lines, so that's why we can't do that there, or we haven't done that yet. But all right. Anybody else? I'll have that up while. Yes, you can assign it. Well, you can assign the task, but you can't assign it in the sense that I want to assign it to these kids. What you have to do is pull up that code and tell those kids, this is the code that you need to use. Brainingcamp is not a program that your kids are going to get in and have a unique username, password, and all that stuff. It is not any type of diagnostic tool at all. We're more of a calculator, right? It's something you're in manipulative. You're going to get them out and give them to the kids to work with. So when they sign in as students, we don't know who they are. We do that for a couple of reasons. Mostly we don't want your students' data, right? So yeah, when they come in, they just get access to the tools. So we use the app in science, somebody asked. I don't believe you could possibly use it in science. Some charting and some graphing tools, you can definitely use it in science. We are developed for the math classroom, but that doesn't mean that it couldn't be used anywhere else. I've seen art teachers who use it and find ways to be creative with it.